is Sherry G. Welcome to my channel. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Look, y'all, Martell Holt is back out on these YouTube streets. He actually did an interview on a channel called The Quintessential Gentleman. There's been a few vloggers giving some commentary about it already, but of course, I'm going to share my viewpoints. But first, keep in mind that the views expressed in this video are all alleged, of opinion, and for entertainment purposes. Now that that's out of the way, yeah, so Martell did an interview, and I actually thought, what a coincidence. Not only did he do an interview today, Marceau and Letitia actually did a live today, and I just thought it was pretty coincidental given the fact that they were both all over the YouTube streets being handled, being handled in one of the sneak peeks for season, is it 4? Is it 6? I don't know what the heck it is. But that particular segment where Lou had to handle them for approaching Tiffany, that whole scene, that whole mess. And here they are both now in these internet streets projecting themselves in a different image, in a different light. I don't know. Coincidence or not a coincidence? Coincidence or setup? Anyway, let's get to the interview. So in this interview, Martell seemed to be pretty subdued, and some people were saying that he actually seemed believable. Well, look, we know Martell can play the part. He knows how to play the part when he needs to play the part, and this is just my opinion. In my opinion, I would hope that Martell has changed because some people are seeing it that way, but realistically speaking, I don't think that he could change so quickly. So yes, in the interview, he actually mentioned that he and Melody are both going to therapy and they're seeing the same therapist. I would imagine that this is because of a court order, because the relationship between the two of them had been so volatile and abrasive that energy could transport over to the children. So I could see the court ordering each of them to seek therapy and probably ordering them to go to the same therapist because that way that therapist could report back to the court. So they just keep everything not going at the same time, but just going to the same person. Someone that is court appointed. Now, this is just, I have no backup for that. I'm just saying this is my opinion, and I could kind of see that. And he did mention that they were both going, so I could see that them doing this, as a court order, as far as the custody battle goes. He also mentioned that the children can't. He didn't want the children back on TV, and I can see where that too might be a part of court order. And I noticed that the children were no longer being shown on Mel's lives or any pictures on any of her internet pages. So usually she would do a live and you could see the children on IG, or she would post pictures of them. But she's been mentioning them, however, not posting their pictures. And it was actually brought to my attention by one of my subscribers. She mentioned it in the comments section. She actually said that she missed seeing Mel's kids. And so I hearted her comment and I went back and looked, and I'm like, well, yeah, she's right. She mentioned the children. She might show a picture or a reference, but as of lately, we have not seen them. So that makes sense to me now, that it could allegedly be a part of a court order. And so that would explain that. But there were a couple of things. First of all, I feel like this interviewer, maybe it was his first time doing an interview, because in my opinion, it seemed like he didn't really have control of the interview. I felt that Martell danced around a lot of the questions. One of the main questions was, "How have you changed?" or something like that. And Martell never really answered that question. And he kind of danced around it. As an interviewer, you would think that you would pull him back to that question, but he just kept asking the next question and then asking the next question, but never really asking a question and then reflecting on the question or elaborating on the question, checking in for understanding, those types of things. So it just seemed to me that he was probably new at interviewing. I don't know. I've never watched him do any interviews before. I don't really know who this gentleman is. Actually, it popped up on my page, and I'm like, what is this? And I saw Martell, a little picture there, and that this gentleman was interviewing him. And I also seen where all of the different vloggers were discussing Martell and referencing the interview. I thought it was just really weird how it popped up on my page. But maybe that's because Martell Holt is someone that I mention in my videos. So the algorithms probably pointed that video to me. So if that's the case, that makes sense. But one of the things he also mentioned was that he and Mel are working on their relationship. And some people took it as though he was alluding to the fact that they were working on perhaps getting back together or a romantic relationship. I don't But I don't believe, first of all, that that's ever going to happen. So, and I don't really know what's going on in his mind. Yet, I do believe that they are working on a relationship. Their relationship, as far as co-parents, that would make all the sense in the world, and that would be something that the court would want, right? It would be the best thing for the children, and so no matter how we feel about them being together or Martell as an individual, the best thing would be for them to work on their relationship so that they can co-parent in a healthy way. So yes, I believe that they are ordered to take therapy so that they could work together in a more healthy way as it relates to their co-parenting relationship with their children. So yes, in Martell's mind, he might feel like it might eventually lead to something else. But yeah, no, well, we know how he is. He's always going to be after Melody, and I feel that when it comes to her and it comes to him, he is delusional, and that is my opinion. So that probably is a thought in his mind, but I doubt very seriously if it's ever crossed her mind. She's moved on. Excuse me. Um, Another thing that he mentioned was he did bring up the fact that the vloggers were dragging him all through the YouTube streets and that they had been doing it for years. Then he brought up the particular incident that happened about a month and a half ago. The alleged altercation between him and Ariane. And I thought it was interesting because, he started defending himself, saying that he never went to jail that night. He mentioned that he was filming that night. We all know that that's true, that he was filming. But he also stated that after filming, he was with his clothier. Okay. And then he went to bed. Well, there was someone allegedly, and I forgot who it was. I think it was an attorney or a friend of an attorney. It was a private investigator on Sherelle's World who actually mentioned that they were released from jail allegedly at 3:45 a.m. in the morning. So I personally believe that something happened, whether it was a noise disturbance that they were taken down for, or whether it was actually DV. I don't know, and we'll never really know the truth about that because, again, there is no evidence. But I do believe that to every rumor, there's a hint of truth, and I do believe something happened that night. So, anyway, he tried to bring that up and cover that up, and I thought how ironic that he would bring that up. Um, he also went on to say that God has a plan for him. And I just thought, wow, this seems to be the theme with a lot of the castmates this particular season, where I see in Tisha's social media posts that she references God a lot. Stormy references God a lot, but I don't know where God was at the tea party. I don't know where God was when she and the ladies were at the spa event or whatever that was when they were in the burgundy robes. Where was God then? And I don't know. I've never heard Martell ever mention God before. So again, I do believe that he has been ordered to work on himself, that he and Melody have both been ordered to allegedly see therapists so that they can be the best they can in their co-parenting relationship with their children. I honestly think that the courts would think that the best thing would be for the situation to remain the way it is, and for the two of them to work on themselves so that the children could have the best of both worlds, so to speak. But as far as Martell and believing that he's totally changed, I honestly, in my opinion, don't believe that he has, because there's too much work that he has to do, too many years of whatever that has been planted in him, too much trauma that he has to work through, too much to uncover and discover about himself and what made him the way he was, or makes him act out the way he does. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because I will be back. Until then, ciao.